right, lighting the fuse, another big day here of the Steve Gruber Show as we kick off another big hour live from Studio G, fighting for you for the foxhole of freedom every single day. It's a trigger warning. This show will give you impulses of enthusiasm for America and its future. Live in all 50 states and around the world. It's a dirty job, and I'm going to do it anyway. Here are three big things you need to know right now. Number one, men still dominating some women's sports events in places like California. A completely outrageous insult to women in all sports, and women in general, period. Number two, the economy doing far better than even most Republicans thought possible, at least in such a short period of time. The leading indicators all positive, and if we can control spending, it would get even better. And number three, is Russia prepping its nuclear arsenal? Is a full-blown nuclear war at the world's doorstep following the remarkable attacks on Ukraine by Russian military jets deep inside Russian territory? That's an important question here today, because these drone strikes, if you didn't see them, they were remarkable. Drone strikes deep into Russia. They were apparently snuck into the country, and this is a part of what I've seen. There were these sheds built in Ukraine that were shipped into Russia. The drones were hidden in the roofs of these sheds and then deployed remotely. And when they deployed, they attacked Russian bombers and so forth. More than 40 Russian military planes destroyed. A remarkable feat. Russia responded by sending missiles and drones back into Ukraine in devastating attacks. The war escalating. A ceasefire doesn't seem to be at hand, but here's where we are. Is Russia prepping its nuclear arsenal? Some are wondering if Russia is prepping its nuclear arsenal to say, look, we're not doing this anymore. There were videos being seen and shared on social media that showed the Russian military with its mobile missile launchers moving nuclear weapons. Now, I don't know if this is old video or new. That's the problem with the world we live in these days, is that there can be all sorts of video that might be new, it might be old, might be created by AI. You just don't know, right? But it certainly concerns me that these images are out there. Should concern you as well. We all thought Russia would win this war in a couple of weeks. Back in February of 2022, I thought they'd have that thing wrapped up in a couple of weeks. I think most people did. And instead, the Russians have been in this long, grinding war, 3 years and counting now. 2,500 people killed on both sides, on average, in recent weeks. 1.5 million killed since the beginning of this conflict, according to some figures. 1.5 million. And the war drags on. But the bomber attacks were pretty remarkable. It was called the Spiderweb operation. A year and a half in its planning. Right now, Russia controls about 20% of Ukrainian territory, including Crimea, but Crimea is not going back. I'm sorry to say, I don't believe it'll ever go back. We're going to keep an eye on this. This is a huge development. Is Russia willing to use nuclear weapons to defeat Ukraine? I would certainly hope not, but I don't know. Meanwhile, closer to home here on the economic front. Scott Bassett destroys the legacy media again, talking about the economy, talking about where we are as a country, talking about where we're going right now in the economy. Listen to this.
Listen to earnings calls just like we do. You know what Walmart's saying, what Best Buy's saying, and what Target are saying.
But Margaret, I also know what Home Depot and Amazon are saying. I know what the South China Morning Post wrote within the past 24 hours, that 65% of the tariffs will likely be eaten by the Chinese producer.
65% of the tariffs being eaten by the Chinese. I like how Scott Bassett dismembers the Sunday morning media. They come at him with loaded questions all the time. He just destroys them. Meanwhile, over on CNN, Dana Bash getting similar treatment, getting crushed by Russ Vaught. Russ Vaught is the director of the Office of Management and Budget. Maybe you've seen him, maybe you haven't, maybe you know who he is, maybe you don't, but he is a very powerful man inside the Trump administration. This whole administration is being run by about 12 or 15 people total. Total. There's 12 or 15 people right now that are running this whole thing. Scott Bessent is one of them. Russ Vought is one of them. J.D. Vance, of course, the president, but I'm talking about the people in second tier here. Howard Lutnick. These are the people running the country, without question. And here's Russ Vought dismembering CNN's Dana Bash. Listen.
I do want to start with what you submitted late Friday night. It's some of the administration's spending proposals for the coming fiscal year. It would cut non-defense spending by more than 22%, slash anti-poverty programs, education grants, food and rental assistance, even billions in funding for cancer research. Let's just start with that last one. Explain why the administration wants to cut so much from cancer research.
Well, it's more about the NIH, and the NIH has been a bureaucracy that we believe has been weaponized against the American people. We saw that in COVID, the extent to which it doesn't even know or is willing to grapple with the extent to which it funded the Wuhan Institute through the EcoHealth Alliance, and the fact that they pay far more than even Bill Gates does for indirect costs at all of the bureaucracy. So this is something that is vitally important to be able to get a handle on, and we're still going to give $28 billion to the NIH.
So, they try to, you're taking away cancer research for children. No, what we're doing is resetting what should be the foundational budget for the National Institutes of Health. I'm not taking money away from anybody, where they're getting $28 billion. You see, this is how they pervert the conversation. It's how they change the conversation, pervert the conversation every single time. Yeah, and it's concerning to me. It should be concerning to you as well. It should be concerning to you as well. Because if he's not there to set the record straight, if Russ Vought isn't sitting there, CNN and MSNBC and the big networks and the New York Times and Washington Post would sit right there and peddle filth and fiction as fact. But when they have somebody there to say, no, that's not right, whether it's Bessent or Vote, saying that, no, that's wrong. Period, it's just wrong. If you got a well in your yard, you've already got half of a geothermal system, just add a well connect in as little as 8 hours and start saving big on your bills. You'll cut your heating costs by up to 50%, extend the life of your furnace, and cool your home more efficiently, too, all without major renovation. It's the fastest, most affordable way to bring geothermal home. Learn more at wellconnectgeo.com. If you live anywhere in the northern United States, New York, Michigan, Ohio, if you got a well in your yard, you're halfway to saving a pile of money. Learn more, wellconnectgeo.com, wellconnectgeo.com. Made in Michigan, built for your well. It's patented technology that'll save you a pile, and I mean a pile, of money. When we come back, why the National Guard is the backbone to national security at the border. We'll tell you why coming up on the Steve Gruber Show.